I've been in the cosmetology industry for over 40 years, but 20-something years ago, I saw that we were really having a lot of serious problems with chemicals, and I knew we had to make a change, because if we didn't, we were going to have a serious problem, because we know that millions of black women have lost their hair as a result of using the chemical. So we're going to talk about our hair and the care of it, what we should do and what we can do. Now I want to say this, many times we, or many of us like the weave, the wig. If that's your choice, it's up to you. But then we should always look at consequences as a result of wearing things, the long-term effect that those particular things are going to have on our hair. We're going to pass out some flyers to you. As you can see, this is a picture of 3 people 400 years before that we had a comb. And if you look at this hair, you can't comb it. Our hair can go back to this state if we don't do anything to it. So we do have to work with our hair. But this hair will be on your head much longer than straight hair. As a matter of fact, this hair can do anything. You can straighten it out, you can curl it up, you can wear it loose. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. And then you can wash this hair and it'll go back to its natural state. This ethnic hair is the only hair that you can go back and define your origin. Other hair, that's straight hair, when you wet it, it does not go back. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have any place to go. So you could always know when you wet your hair down and have this gene, you know that you have that gene that is from Afrocentric, but it's going to also be one that will keep your hair thicker and healthier much longer. This hair does not thin out if you care for it properly. And I tell the ladies all the time, whatever you do, protect your center and your circle. You don't want to lose the hair here, and you don't want to lose it here. And many of us are wearing the braids and the weaves, and they're pulling that hair, and we're doing a lot to tighten up in here. When you do that, unfortunately, you're putting too much pressure on that hair, and it's going to cause that hair eventually to thin out. Sometimes you can get it back. Other times you can't. If it gets like this, it's like my hand. It's very hard to work with that hair and try to get it back. We don't even want to go that way. We want to be careful with our hair at all times. And even with the little girls, I noticed that a lot of the little girls like long hair. And so to satisfy them, the moms are putting in all the weave. That's a lot of pressure on the natural hair, and it can damage the hair over a long period of time. So, when we see that, we want to caution parents that we know about that. The key to taking care of this hair is moisture, because by natural characteristic, it's dry. So we have to put a lot of moisture in it, not water, but something that's soft and simple that we can, like a good cream, we can put in, and I'll show you an example. As you can see, that the chemical melts the hair. It melts 70% of the cystine bond, that's your stretch and your strength. When your strength and your stretch is gone, anytime you pull your hair or comb it and brush it, and you shouldn't brush it, because that brushing pulls hair out. When you brush hair, you can pull it out of the brush when you finish brushing, so you know that you have damaged your hair, or you pulled it out and it's going to thin out. So you don't want to do that. When Brandy first came to me, like I showed you the picture, we worked, and we saw the bulk coming back into her hair. And there were times when she would come in after a 2-week treatment, and I would say to her, Brandy, my gosh, your hair is growing, it's getting so thick. we saw things happen to her hair that were so fascinating for both of us. And Brandy just recently had a little one. We were doing she was doing vitamins and things like that, and I encouraged her to keep taking her vitamins because it is a shock to her system to, not have all of that healthy stuff inside. But her hair has continued to grow. Her hair is very healthy. And as you can see, it's just pressed. And that's it. When we press it, it stays pressed because we train the hair. That's another thing. We have to learn to train that hair to be obedient to us because our hair is very resistant. But if we train it and work with it and moisturize it and take care of it, we can get excellent results from it. I never cut. You never cut hair when it's sick. And permed hair, over-processed hair, is sick hair. You don't want to cut it because it can go into shock. What you do is you feed that hair. One of the mistakes that we make is a lot of conditioner, in my opinion. I believe in dealing with our hair from a naturalistic, holistic perspective. What do I mean by that? I mean that your hair is a part of your body. Just like you feed your body, you feed yourself so that you can be healthy. Your hair needs food. And so then the next question is, what is hair? Hair is 97% protein, so we need protein. So we go to the soybean and we feed the hair before shampoo goes on the hair, before water goes on the hair. You're going to feed that hair. Sit in that and let that hair get the food that it needs, and then we would take it to the bowl to shampoo. Blacks are not having the knowledge that we needed to care for our hair. We first of all thought that our hair was inferior because we heard words like naughty, nappy, and kinky, and then we couldn't get the growth that we needed, and we watch our parents comb that hair and throw it in the trash can. What we needed was moisture. Moisture would make that hair grow and make it healthy. But at that time, we didn't know that. We thought grease was the answer, and so we would grease that hair down. And we didn't get the results that we can get today if we're knowledgeable about the care of our hair in this state. The first thing we start doing is feeding the hair. And then you see results even with the first treatment that we give.
So I might realize this cutout, and you see this is what I have. So you're saying that I should not have cut?
Many people do that. I am very careful not to cut hair when I know it's not healthy because you can traumatize it. You can stunt the growth, and you won't see the growth that you're looking for. Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret about hair. Hair does not die. We've been taught that hair is dead. Hair is not dead. Once I was fortunate enough to see a block of hair that had a bow tied on it. It was in a Bible. It was hair that was over 100 years old. It didn't smell. It was nice and soft. Hair does not deteriorate. We destroy our hair because of the things that we do to that hair. But hair lives on. Hair does not die. It's the only part of the body that does not deteriorate. So that myth that we've been told that hair is dead, that's not true. And like that picture that I showed you, it's going to go back there. They won't be able to comb it or do anything with it. You have to learn to work with that hair. You have to learn to control the hair and not let the hair control you. How often do you blow dry?
I do it about every 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And what do you do for maintenance daily or nightly?
Well, the hair grease and sponge rollers.
Oh, that's a no-no. Those sponge rollers are made from fiberglass. They will cut your hair. I can take a strand of hair like this and do that, and I can tell if the client is sleeping in rollers because that hair is going to break. Every time you turn, twist, bend, stoop, you're pulling hair. And that will eventually show up. You'll see that your hair is getting thinner. And you see that you need to stop doing that and pin curl your hair. It's easy to just put some pins in it or get up like 5 o'clock in the morning, a couple hours early. Our hair does require some maintenance. We have to be careful with it. We cannot get away from that. But what we can do is that, you minimize the things that you do to it. You try to sleep cute a little bit. But as we get older, our bodies change. The blood flow changes as we get older. And so we start to see that change in our hair because every strand of hair has a blood vessel. You can take an aspirin and 2 hours later, it's in your hair. Medications affect our hair. So when we are on medications or when we are using anything that would traumatize our hair, we have to be very careful and do it moderately. Not to overpower our hair with the braiding and the hair that we sew on, and that's a lot of weight on your hair. It will pull your natural hair out. And by the time we start going through menopause, you can really see the difference, feel the effect from it, and see the hair thinning that shouldn't have thinned had we taken care of. Our ancestors that were on the boat had babies that did not look black because the seed was pure. And that's when black, back in the 1800s, the 1700s, were able to pass. But today, if you see a mother that tells you her children her husband's white and her children look Hispanic, that husband is mixed. And to tell you the truth, I really think that the African Americans and the Caucasians have mixed so that there's not really much of a difference. And it shows up in our hair. And the Native Americans played a major role with the blacks. We see that in almost every head. You can tell the difference when you look at the hair. The hair that has Native American gene is very resistive. You cannot get that hair to do anything. You could try, and if you notice, so remember back in the day, the only thing you saw them do was straight down or pull it back. I have tried to curl that hair for days and I couldn't get it to do anything. It wouldn't even bend. But then you got the combinations of hair. You have some of us that have hair that is very curly and wavy. That hair has the stronger Native American gene, or it may even have the Caucasian gene there. And so it's a thing that we have to look at our hair and analyze. Like I was telling you all in the earlier part of our session about the hair that has the stronger African gene. We don't like that hair as well as we like hair that's straight and wavy. We say, oh, I don't like this hair. But if I had a choice, I would prefer that hair. Although I have to work with it. But I know that I can do anything with it. Sometimes I've had, back in the day, clients that were Caucasian, and I had to spray that hair with the hairspray and pull it up and spray it and hope that it didn't fall before they walk out the door. They had a lot of problems with their hair. It wasn't until Vidal Sassoon came along with it. Yeah. Vidal Sassoon came along with the asymmetric cuts, and they did a lot of color to give it volume and to give it definition. And so their hair started to take on a different look. And today you see them with the straight hair and the cuts and all. And we can do that. We do a lot of us wear our hair straight and get excellent results with it after we've trained it. And that hair tells you a story when it's wet. The hair that I thought was, more Caucasian actually got a lot of texture to it. So first thing I say is, well, you know what, that combination, that African gene is there and it's strong. You can always tell where you come from with the African gene, because that hair will go back. When you wet it, it's going to draw up. But no other ethnic group's hair does that. Straight hair, when you wet it, it stays straight. It doesn't show you where it came from. They don't know where it came from. But we can always identify with where our hair came from. I wanted to show you all how easy it is. Now, Frances has a little story, and I want to help her tell it. She had been getting twists, but she's been getting them gel. And I've been fussy. So we decided no more gel. I said, you know, she twisted her hair herself. And I said, I want the ladies to see how easy it is to just do your hair, and it's all about patting and tucking. And it's simple. There are a lot of things that we can do that are not really hard to do and not really time consuming. If you've used a product for a year and you see no results in your hair for the better, it's not doing anything for you. You need to leave it alone. Now, a lot of us will go to the corner store, or we'll go in the kitchen and get some lard and some mayonnaise and all that, put it in our hair, and we expect good results. You might get some softening from it. I realize that is a protein, but it's really not enough. You don't see any results. You want to see some change in your hair. Your hair should be getting bulk, and it should be getting length. And if you don't see that, and you don't see easier management, then you need to think about maybe going to another product, changing to something that has been scientifically developed for our hair. And that's one of the things that I did. When I realized that the clients were losing their hair behind the perm, I couldn't get the snatch back anymore. You all remember that style, you know, you snatch it back, and it was so pretty. And when I tried to snatch back the hair, it wouldn't stand up. I said, something's wrong. And so I started doing a lot of research, and I was really concerned about my clients' hair because I didn't want them to lose it, and I knew it was getting thin. And when I was putting perm in, because at one point I did use perm in my clients' hair, but I never combed it in because it's a chemical. It can do a job on its own. It doesn't need any help. But I was using blow dry technique and just doing the asymmetric cuts, making the hair look attractive, and so they were comfortable with that. But I was curious because I'm seeing things all the time that I didn't like, because I was concerned about them always having the bulk, never thinning in here or in the outer perimeter. So I told my clients, you know, we're going to make a change. We've got to change. And then I started looking for chemists, looking for product manufacturers, looking for someone to help me to develop a product that I knew was going to make our hair healthy. Fortunately, we were able to find someone, and we got excellent results. But to me, the most important part of the beauty salon is over there at the shampoo bowl, because that's where you learn to care for that hair. That's where you treat that hair, and that's where you're going to see the changes in that hair. You know, we as black women have always been cosmetic. We just want to look cute. We were concerned as long as it looked good, I'm happy. But you know what? Now we've gotten to the point where, yeah, we're looking good, but we're not looking good in our own hair. We got something else in there. And a lot of the ladies I see out there, they get that weave in, and you don't even know it's a weave the first week. And they paid a fortune to do. But by the third week, now they tell you got to come back in 3 months. By the third week, it's looking rough. And then you got to see some of them doing this. So when you see somebody hitting your head like that, you know that it's itching and they can't scratch.
Yeah, you think that coconut oil, natural coconut oil,
it depends on how much you use. You don't have to use a lot. And you know, we just use too much of everything. I mean, we pour it on. That's not necessary. Small amount, whatever you put on, you should always rub it, and then apply it, like all over, and then go in and massage and stimulate. You don't ever want to part your hair and slap something down in between all the parts. That's no good. That's just clogging up your pores. Scalp can't breathe, and you wonder, why in the world is my hair not growing or getting thick, or there's no change here. But if you massage that scalp, you stimulate the blood vessels, you're stimulating that hair, and you're gonna see growth. Now, a bonnet would help to hold this in place, because it grabs the circumference and you just, push back. And so you don't have a lot of damage to it. If you sleep on this, you can go in the root area. Don't start on the ends, in the root area, and wake it up and just slightly pull it out and then pat it back. But it's all about patting our hair to make it look cute. That is the most fragile part of our hair, of us, really. Actually, I can remember that took quite a while before it actually closed up in there. Back in the day, if the baby was constipated, they would drop some castor oil in there and the bowel would move. So it's very sensitive area here and the outer perimeter. Very, very sensitive. Okay, as I said, my product is over 20 years old. I've taken my clients back to natural, and we didn't cut hair. We have successfully treated hair that had alopecia, and we got good results. We start out with a system. You need a system. The first thing that we do is that we feed the hair. Hair needs food. This is our protein, and this is from the soybean. And so the soybean, this is your pre-treat reconstructor. This is what goes on before you get the shampoo. And you sit in this for a specified amount of time. It's in the instructions. Okay. You can use the cap, or you can sit in it, or you can sit under the dryer in it. You want to open up the follicles so that it'll strengthen your hair. Then your second step is your tea shampoo. This is made from natural herbs. This is the one that I was telling you about that tighten that hair and strengthen that hair. This was actually the first product that I started out with when I was taking my clients back to natural from the perm. This is what we had to work with, and we would let them sit in this. Yes, this is the tea. Oh, this is the one that you needed for the pool. This is the oxidation. This is the one that takes the chlorine out of the water. It's made from citric fruits, and this is your second and third shampoo, because you want to really deep clean your hair. And now you want to soften and moisturize. So you're going to start out with the detangler, and all of these are left in the hair. This will make your hair soft and silky, and you can just take your fingers and pull through it. It will make your hair feel so soft and silky that you won't believe that it was dry. No, you don't. Very little, very little. This will last a long time. And of course, then we have the cream. And the cream helps to even out different textures of hair. Like I was saying, she has different textures. Something will bring them together. I believe that this product will eventually bring out the best gene that you have, and you will see the difference. And I'm thinking that the Native American is stronger than the African, and the other people there that you have there. It's not really enough of them for you to worry about, but they are there. This, as I said, this cream helps to even out the textures and make the hair soft as well. This is also moisturizing. You've got moisturizer in the hair all the time, and then you have the hair food that's left in the hair. So these three items are always left in the hair in a small amount, a pea-size amount. You massage it through. When I blow dry hair, shake your hair, Brandy. Shake it. See, it's not there. Her hair's not heavy. It's not a lot of weight to it. And And of course, this is our maintenance oil. And it's just a soft oil. It helps to smooth your hair out, and it helps to smooth the hair out. It helps to soften as well. And it just keeps it looking fresh. If you are, now with her, she won't need this. I suggest that she use a light oil like this for the natural hair if you're twisting. But for the pressed hair, you would need this, okay? If you work with the products, you will see growth. That's one thing we need to be concerned about. We need to grow our hair out so that we can have different styles. You want to look different at night than you do during the day. When you're going to a night affair, you want to have enough hair to put it up, pull it over, and not let it be someone else's hair. Let it be your hair. And so, you need to grow that hair out to do that. And these products help you to do that.